This is where, together, we look for a way out of the darkness. So, I'm bothered by a growing trend on social media right now. Americans, mostly younger ones, are announcing they want to leave the United States. They call themselves Trump UGs. Do we have a generation of like Rosie O'Donnells? People so pissed they want to be expats? How real is it? Well, this isn't something that the government actually tracks, at least not closely. The estimate is about like 9 million Americans at any time live abroad. Now, that's a skewed statistic, too, because are they saying they don't want to be Americans anymore, or they still want to be Americans, but they want to live somewhere else? I don't know. Now, usually, it is war that sends Americans abroad. The draft dodgers in the 60s, the so-called lost generation after World War I. Remember that, when all the artists went over there to Europe, wrote all those books, Hemingway and all that? But this seems different. A recent poll found that 42% of Americans have considered or planned to move out of the country. That includes 63% of Gen Z, 52% of millennials. You notice you don't see Gen X in there. You know why? Because my generation is the last hard generation. That's why. We're not the greatest generation. We're not our parents. We're not our grandparents. But compared to the ones that followed us, the ability to suffer, the desire to stick and endure and improve is in short supply. Now, many are citing dissatisfaction with political leadership as a major reason to relocate, hence the moniker. The top countries they want to move to: Canada, England, Australia, France, Italy, Japan, and Mexico. Let me be clear. None of those countries come close to offering what America does, okay? Which is why so many people here come from those places. Yes, I'm biased, okay? I love America. And part of that is because I've traveled more than most, especially here. Only about half this country has ever been outside the country, okay? America is flawed. America is floundering right now in many ways. She is not what she could be, nor what she should be, okay? You gotta be honest about ourselves. But let me put it this way. It is easy to say that America sucks, that America is the worst, until you compare it to anywhere else. And we all know that anybody can play with data, but here's the kill shot. There is one country, when you go around this world, that is almost the consensus pick of where the people that you visit would like to be, if not where you find them: America. Now, you can argue that, well, that's about the idea of America, Cuomo, not the reality. All right, let's talk the reality, okay? Where does the rest of the world want to go? America, by a long shot, okay? Why? America has the #1 economy with the most open jobs. And for all this talk about manufacturing and how we're destroyed and we have none and it's all gone and it was stolen, China's #1. Guess who's #2? Us. Now, I'm not bragging. Yay, #2. You always want to be the best. Of course you do. But the idea that we're the worst, I don't think so. And you know where we have, the most unique opportunity for people? In manufacturing jobs that are open right now. Who leads the world in technological innovation? Us. Who leads the world in medical innovation? Us. Who leads the world in investing in AI, which is the future of our economy, better or worse? Us. Okay? Culture, content, us. Okay? Higher education. 8 of the top 10 universities are where? America. Okay? Global household income. Top 5, America. And we have the strongest military. Now, don't get it twisted, okay? I'm not saying anything about perfection. I'm not saying anything about an ideal. I'm not saying anything about being finished. This is an experiment, this place, and we are struggling right now, and we are making our own problems. Okay? And we're making people rich who are driving our problems. Economic opportunity to live the dream of succeeding or failing on your own merits is best manifested in America. But we also have something else. And it does have to be cherished, and it needs to be protected, especially right now, and that is the right to be free. Our country's got its share of political violence. We all know it. But compared to what? One of the countries that Americans say they want to immigrate to, and I'm laughing because it's a joke, is Mexico. You want to live in Mexico instead of America? Are you serious? And you have safety on your mind or political violence? Listen, don't get it twisted. Again, you know, we have problems here and we've got to work on them, and we're not working on them. We're working on making them worse. But Mexico? Here's my biggest concern, okay? We have problems that we're not really addressing, that we should not have in America, okay? The idea that we have health issues, obesity issues, with the access, you know, as troubled as it is, our access to medicine, to healthcare is so much better than just about anywhere else in the world. And yet we have such health issues, lower life expectancy, higher infant mortality rate. You know about obesity. And in the same way that we're not exhibiting the hunger to get better as a people as we once did. We got low test scores all across the board. We lead the world in gun deaths. Okay, now what's that about? It's about access, okay? We have more guns than people, but it's also about opportunity. We are violent, and we see violence as a legitimate end to our grievances. We rank among the worst for fake news spread on social media. Now, that's a twofer, okay? Why? That is a blessing and a curse. Our freedom is so much stronger than anywhere else in the world when it comes to free speech. And that's why it's got to be cherished. That's why it's got to be protected. That's why our period right now is troubling. Yes, speech has a bullseye on it, and we've got to talk about that, and we've got to protect it. But our social media is reckless, and it is ruinous because of our freedom. I'm telling you, my signature cause, the things that just keep me motivated in this job, okay? Talking about mental health, its manifestation in our society, the lack of treatment, the stigma of it, how it manifests itself in so many of our problems matters to me. How we don't embrace addiction as an illness, as an extension of mental health, matters to me. Social media, the companies not having responsibility for what they are absolutely creating, is at the top of the list. Top of the list, okay? You have to level the playing field of responsibility across all media, specifically social media companies who are now the richest. And how did they get rich? By pushing poison for profit. Why is everybody obsessed with clickbait? Why are they all fomenting controversy? Why is it all about conflict? Why is it all about animus and anger? Because that's what they amplify with their algorithms. That's where they put their ads. That's how you get reach. It's intentional. They are amplifying division for profit. To me, it makes them no better than a guy stepping on coke with fentanyl, except it's legal. And it's got to change, okay? Now, look, I don't want to see people go. I know a lot of people are going to say, go, go, go. You don't want to be here. Not me. I don't want to see you go. We need to grow. We're dying more. We're making less babies. And if we stop allowing in immigrants, it's only going to get worse. But to leave because it's going to be better somewhere else, unless you're healthy and really wealthy, good luck with that. My counsel is that this problem is an extension of our manufactured division. I know it looks dark for a lot of you in terms of where we are and where we're headed. I know it's well, I know it well. I know the fear. It's been a scary time for my family. I don't talk about it because that's part of the security situation, right? Social media is out of control on purpose, and it has amplified our worst qualities, and I am sure it is behind this latest movement. But let me tell you something. I'm not going anywhere because America is worth staying and fighting the good fight to make her what she can be. A place that is driven from people from other places who come in here to make us better, to combine our talents, to combine our strengths, and to be e pluribus unum, okay? Out of many, one. The sooner we get back to that, the sooner we get out of this poison period and we know the solution, it is time to say enough. I don't want to hear what's wrong. We know. You're not going to tell me anything I don't know about why things are worse and who is to blame. That's what is easy. America needs to get back to what she does that is hard, what makes us great. Okay? Not again, are great, because we have the ability to be obsessed with better. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.